Back home now, the first group of Black Caps arrived home this morning after their nail-biting World Cup loss against England on Monday. 7 players were welcomed to applause from a handful of supporters at Auckland Airport, with Trent Boult, who bowled the super over, apologising for letting the country down. Jordan Bond and videographer Dan Cook were there.
It is what it is, was the phrase on all the Black Caps' lips this morning after a marathon journey from the UK capping off a marathon tournament. Trent Boult was bare in his emotions.
I'd love it to sink in so we can get over it, but yeah, it's probably one of those things we're not going to get over for a wee while now.
Boult probably played one of the biggest roles for the Black Caps in their heartbreaking loss against England just 4 days ago, bowling New Zealand's controversial super over. The 29-year-old took 17 wickets in the tournament, the 7th most, and his consistently dangerous pace and swing had him named in the team of the tournament as the 12th man. But a world-class performance across the tournament was overshadowed, and he says he'll be running it over in his mind in the most quintessential Kiwi way.
I'm going to go home for the first time in about 4 months. Probably going to walk my dog along the beach and try to put it aside. I'm sure he won't be too angry at me, but yeah, hey, we've got a quick turnaround before we go to Sri Lanka in a couple of days' time, and we'll be back in the saddle. So, like I said, it's not going to be something that disappears over the next kind of couple of days. It's probably something that's going to be quite hard to swallow still over the next couple of years.
In England's penultimate over, Boult took a catch off a big Ben Stokes heave, but accidentally stepped on the boundary rope, conceding 6 runs.
Obviously, the priority's on the ball itself, so that's all I was really worried about. Yeah, silly of me, obviously, to not know where the rope was. It was similar to the catch I got against the West Indies earlier in the tournament, but they're quite quirky boundaries over there. They're not actually circles, they're kind of octagons and squares and all sorts of things. So obviously you could imagine my feeling when I felt my left shoe hit the cushion, and it was too late for me to throw it to Marty. So yeah, bit of a shame.
Tim Southee played less of the tournament than he would have liked, just 1 game, but came on as a substitute fielder in the final and took a critical catch to remove England's vice-captain Jos Buttler and break a dangerous partnership. He says it's been an emotional few days for the players, but they're proud of what they achieved and how they carried themselves.
There's a lot of disappointment and a number of other words you could use to, I guess, sum up the result. But I guess when you look past that, past the result, and look back on what you've achieved, and I guess the messages from back home, and I guess it is quite a proud moment to be a Kiwi cricketer.
Leg spin bowler Ish Sodhi also played 1 game. He was on the sideline for the final and could only watch like the rest of us.
Yeah, look, it was nerve-wracking. At the best of times, a lot of my nails got absolutely disfigured during that game. But I think I really felt for the guys like Trent, Jimmy and Gup, the guys that were in the heat of the battle during those tense moments of that game. And I think we were all just sharing in the a bit of devastation what they were going through.
Tim Southee's level-headed and taking the loss on the chin.
That's the sport we play. It's you got to move on and move on to the next challenge, and that's Sri Lanka in a couple of weeks' time.
Trent Boult says he's grateful for the support the team received from around the world.
Obviously, we're all hurting, and yeah, sorry for letting everyone down.
More of the team return home next week, while others have taken advantage of the European summer before flying to Canada for the global T20 tournament beginning next week. The Black Caps will reassemble as a team again for their month-long tour of Sri Lanka beginning on August 8th. I tamaki makoto mō te hōtaka o te ahiahi nei, ko Jordan Bond, tēnei.